Hello.
Pushing celebration and knowing my parents were proud. Because in life, the greatest accomplishment is the day you make your parents proud.
On April 7, 2010, Mr. T.N. Manoharan stood at Rashtrapati Bhavan to receive the Padma Shri from the President.
Good evening, everyone. Distinguished dignitaries, esteemed President of the ICAI, Shri D. Prasanna Kumar, past Presidents of ICAI, CA Shri Priya K. Central Council Member, Chairman of the SIRC, Shri Subbarao Muppala, Secretary of the SIRC, Shri Pramod Ramamohan Hegde, other members of the Central Council, past Central Council members, other members of the Regional Council, past Regional Council members, other members of the fraternity, friends of the fraternity, members, students, well-wishers, and everyone watching the live stream from across the globe, our overseas delegates who have journeyed from Singapore and Middle East to join us in Chennai today, and everyone present here today. A very warm welcome to all of you. We are gathered this evening for an occasion that is both solemn and deeply personal to every one of us. The first memorial program in loving memory of our most respected past president, Shri T.N. Manoharan sir. There could be no more fitting way to begin this evening than with a session on ethics. For if one word defined Manoharan sir's life and work, it was integrity. He believed and he demonstrated through every role he had that the true worth of a professional lies not in what he earns, but in what he stands for. Continuing that very tradition of learning that he championed all his life, we begin this evening with a knowledge session on the new Code of Ethics as the first memorial lecture CP program of CA T.N. Manoharan sir. The speaker for this session needs no introduction. However, for the benefit of the new members and students, I will try to give a brief introduction about today's speaker. It is our absolute privilege to invite on stage a renowned academician and author within our fraternity, Shri MP Vijay Kumar sir, former Central Council member ICAI, a teacher of chartered accountancy for 20 years, and author of over 10 titles on accounting and company law. He is an independent director in leading corporates, including Mahindra and Mahindra Limited. He serves as executive director and group CFO of Sifi Technologies Limited, and also a member of the IFRS Interpretations Committee of the International Accounting Standards Board since 2021. Among the various awards MPV Sir has received, another feather on his cap is the Ideal 2026 Award conferred by His Excellency, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, recently. Please join me in welcoming Shri MPV Sir. Before we begin, let us take a moment together to invoke the blessings of the Almighty and to remind ourselves of the very values our profession stands for. May I respectfully request the August gathering to kindly rise for the rendition of the ICAI motto, a pledge of excellence, integrity, and service that Manoharan sir himself lived by every single day of his life.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं कामं अदेव शुक्लम् सर्वे
Thank you. Request everyone to kindly be seated as we proceed with this evening's program. To express our deep gratitude, I now request Shri K.S. Yoganand, Managing Partner, Manohar Chowdhury and Associates, to kindly step forward to honor and present a token of our appreciation to MPV sir.
Past presidents of the institute, Shri Balakrishnan, Shri Bhupati sir, chairman of SARC, Subbarao Garu, immediate past chairman Revati, friend and former council colleague and present council member Shri Priya, senior members of the profession, all well-wishers of Manoharan sir, and professional colleagues. Good evening to all of you. Good evening, Shri. So in a sense, I have some mixed emotions. On one side, I'm a little happy that the first memorial lecture, I got an opportunity to be part of this, which otherwise also I would have been here. But the other side, feel a little awkward that I'm part of something which I never thought will be there, an event which will be there. So nevertheless, having known Manoharan sir and his respect for time, I'll stay committed to the technical session, but I'll just take a little less than a minute to share something before I go straight to the topic. As far as the topic for today's session is concerned, when the invite came a month back and I accepted without blinking, the topic was not there, and I wrote back to the MCA team that let's connect in the week of 27th and decide what should be the topic we should speak on. I was very skeptical. Typically, memorial lectures are around economy, something big, macro topics and all. And that's something I'm very uncomfortable to speak about. While I have reasonable understanding about the economy, all that stuff, but generally I'm very uncomfortable to speak on those topics because I still have some more hair to lose. Having said that, 3-4 days back, I received the WhatsApp message from Malavika, which said the topic was on code of ethics. I breathed a sigh of relief and I felt a little comfortable for two reasons. One is the new code of ethics as amended and now notified 2026 is a very transformational change as far as the profession is concerned, particularly for mid-sized firms. For small firms also, it makes a lot of difference. But for firms which are aspiring to grow fast, grow bigger, lots of restrictions which are there as part of the erstwhile code of ethics have all been unshackled. And I don't want to say that everything has been done, but it's a beginning, but it's a good beginning. and reasonable amount of relaxation has been given. Lot of deterrents which were there have all been removed. So from that sense, a very transformational change which is there. And that's a topic I'm sure Mr. Manoharan would have also liked to speak. And this is a topic on ethics he is also very comfortable speaking about. And there is only one occasion I spoke on a topic other than accounting, audit, company law, or ethics. That's only one occasion I spoke. And that too I spoke only because Mr. Manoharan told me. And I spoke because I wanted to try myself. He said, you should try yourself sometime. You should try yourself sometime. In fact, my first book, which I authored also, he only nudged me and said, you publish it. Doesn't matter, you publish it. As the feedback comes, you can improve. So I thought this was also a good nudge and I accepted it. This was for a lecture in Etiraj College on a topic of alchemist. So I did a lot of study, did a lot of preparation and went to speak on the topic. And I thought I did reasonably well. I spoke for about 20 minutes and I thought alchemist is a very powerful topic. So I read that whole book twice, thrice, prepared well and spoke on it. But my misfortune, the next speaker was Mrs. Bharati Bhaskar. So that was my misfortune. I should have told the organizers to put me behind her. So much intelligence I didn't have. So she came and she has a very good connect with the students. She spoke in Tamil and girls' college, So the way she was able to carry, she had 20 minutes, but she used comfortably 40 minutes. And I felt so dwarfed sitting at the podium. But nevertheless, it was a great experience listening to her live. That was the first time I was listening to Mrs. Bharati Bhaskar. But after that, I came back and told Mr. Manoharan that this is the last time, sir. I will never speak on a topic which is nothing to do with the topic subject per se. And today I'm happy that I'm speaking on a topic which is very relevant for the profession. A small disclaimer, I still continue to be part of the institute in terms of being part of the Accounting Standards Board. I still keep doing some programs, some workshops, and some study groups, thanks to colleagues like Shri and friends. So whatever I speak are my understanding of the profession and my professional experience. Nothing should be attributed to the way institute would interpret this. So as far as the code of ethics is concerned, given that we have exactly 45-50 minutes, I'll speak on about 20 slides or so. The slides are almost about 60-70. I don't think I'll be able to do justice, but about 20 slides or so, which I believe are very relevant. I'll share them with you. As far as the code of ethics is concerned, earlier we had 3 volumes. Now also we have 3 volumes, except that there's a major change. The 3rd volume used to be a compilation of all the case laws relating to topic of ethics. But that case laws have now been moved as a separate publication. And now volume 3 of the Code of Ethics is to do with something which again Shri has been championing for the last 7-8 years. So that's the topic on sustainability. So the entire volume 3 on Code of Ethics deals with sustainability. So volume 1 continues to deal with Code of Ethics, largely the Institute Act and the authority attached to various documents of the Institute. Volume 2 is almost a Control-C, Control-V of the International Code of Ethics issued by International Ethical and Assurance Standards Board. It's the same which is there here, except that small tweaks have been done. But otherwise, the Code of Ethics which we follow in India is copy-paste of what is followed globally. And because of volume 1, what we actually practice in India is far more, I shouldn't use the word restrictive, but lack of better choice, I will use the word restrictive, far more restrictive for much higher level of discipline as far as the Code of Ethics is concerned. So volume 1, as I talked about, it generally talks about the Institute's Act and various other documents which are issued by the Council on the topic. Volume 2, which is the copy-paste of the International Code of Ethics, deals with code as far as the members in general is concerned, another part for members who are in service, another part for members who are in practice. So all of these are covered as part of volume 2. And in volume 2, again, we have two parts which deal with independence requirements. And in volume 2, what is important, this revised code of ethics came about 2019 or 20. I don't recall exactly the year when it came. Whenever the revised code of ethics came, 19 or 20, whichever be the year, this code of ethics, like our audit standard, which you have a main standard and you have an application guidance. So for the main standard, 3-4 pages, then they have an application. The volume 2, which is what is core for all of us to practice, has what is called as requirements and what is called as applications. So in the code of ethics, every topic has a paragraph starting with alphabet R, which means requirement, you need to comply with it. And there are paragraphs immediately thereafter, which will start with A, which is called application. How to apply that requirement, Unlike audit standards where requirements are 4-5 pages and application comes in the later part, here the requirement and the application come immediately, and the paragraphs are indexed like R, which means requirement, A means application. They come immediately so that you need not go back and forth, and also that's a nicely structured one. The volume 3, as I told you, and I will not be spending time on this today. Volume 3 essentially deals with sustainability and all. Reason for not spending time is just that we have 40 minutes, not that the topic is less important. Now, one of the important changes which has happened in the revised code of ethics is marrying the document with Indian traditions, customs, beliefs, practices. And the code of ethics starts with a sloka, which means that dharma protects those who protect it. So in the erstwhile code of ethics, prior to this document, we need not have the Sanskrit slokas sitting inside the code of ethics. But now I think given the trend of all the, Indian nationalism, etc., all of it, which we are seeing a little overheated and all. So there is that bit which is also incorporated here. And inside the code of ethics, it starts off with this particular statement that dharma protects whoever protects the dharma. And so the belief is all of us will eventually get protected. Now, so in volume 1, chapter 1 deals with authority of the various documents which are issued by the institute. All of us are aware standards have a particular level of authority. Guidance notes have a particular level of authority. The technical guides have a different level of authority. Then you have the announcements, FAQs, education material. So many documents are there. So the code of ethics largely talks about the authority attached to various documents which are there. I'll just use this opportunity for one document which people generally interact with me, and almost every month, I tend to get at least 2 or 3 questions on this. So as far as the guidance note is concerned, there are many who still believe that guidance note is guidance and it's not mandatory. I'd just like to correct that understanding. Guidance notes are mandatory. They have full authority. Non-compliance with a requirement in guidance note can lead to gross negligence, consequently treated as misconduct, disciplinary action. The only instances where you cannot follow a guidance note is a situation where the fact pattern is different. And there is something else you have to apply in a different manner. Only those cases. Otherwise, guidance note, while the term is guidance, it has the same mandatory authority. And same with the engagement quality control standards as well. The Chartered Accountants Act 1949, that went through a series of amendments. Couple of amendments which were done, which have been incorporated in the code of ethics. One is multidisciplinary practice. Our institute has been a champion for allowing multidisciplinary practice. Rest of the professions are yet to scale up. And the acts of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Cost Accountants and Company Secretary have all been amended to now allow multidisciplinary practice. That's one major amendment. The second one is introduction of the word development. So as far as institute is concerned, it's always seen as a regulator. But the reality in the ground, all of us are witness that the institute does enormous amount of capacity building and development of the profession, engaging with different stakeholders, including the student community. There's a lot of developmental activity the institute does. And if you look at all the regulations which have come in the recent past, the last 30 years, right from SEBI, which has as its mandate development of capital market, is one of the objectives or key objectives of the Securities Exchange Board of India Act. Similarly, IRDA, in the name itself, development is a key responsibility along with regulation. So for the institute also, while we were doing development, it was important the same is captured as part of the Act itself. So the Act has been amended to include the word development in the Institute's Act. And then there were certain other things which have been changed in the first schedule, etc., which I'll walk you through a little later. So these are things which I just talked to you about, the amendments which have been done. So as far as the scope of services which can be rendered by the chartered accountants, the scope of services has now been expanded to include forensic accounting, research analysts, which are recognized by a regulator. And here I'll just spend about 30 seconds. I do come across many people who have, particularly youngsters, who have excitement to do equity research, bond research, and publish reports and all. But anything you do as a research, particularly in the context of capital market instruments and traded instruments, there is a requirement that you have to pass certain exams and get your eligibility recognized by the Securities Exchange Board of India. Only if you have that particular recognition can you call yourself as a research analyst. So chartered accountants are allowed to be research analysts as long as they've gone through that relevant process of the regulatory approval. So that's also a service which has now been included as part of the chartered accountant services. Similarly, the CSR social impact study and BRSR assessment or assurance which you do, that's again allowed. And lastly, on AI consulting, in today's context, anything is irrelevant if you don't have AI either at the before, middle, or at the end. Somewhere AI has to be there. So acting as an AI related consultant is one of the services which have been recognized. Partnerships with other professionals, the valuation and the insolvency professionals, it was allowed, but there was no explicit provision in the Act. So they have brought it very explicitly now, which allows partnerships with a registered valuer, partnership with a registered insolvency professional. And these are certain amendments. I'll breeze through a little. It shouldn't be difficult to catch the essence of these amendments. These are all amendments which the people who belong to the 70s, 80s, 90s, we would love that the profession does not, I'm speaking on behalf of everybody, but I'm sure each one will have the different views. Some of us have the strong belief that the profession should not have a situation where you just give ads all over or you just go yourself and push yourself into the market. There are many of us who belong to that school of thought. But there's a school of thought, particularly those who have started in the last 20 years, who might believe that I require a reasonable opportunity to tell the outside world that here I am, I'm practicing, I have this set of services, these are set of clients I'm servicing. They would like to communicate that so that the rest of the world gets to know, more so in the context of a digital world. So a little bit of a divided opinion, but on balance, these are very positive ones in my view, because it's important to recognize the aspirations of the current generation, the young and the future. So all of them consistently have told that we don't want these kind of restrictions where every day we live in the fear that if I tell something about my firm, will I be pulled for disciplinary action? If I put up a small stall at some particular program, will I be pulled up for disciplinary action? If I speak in some program and that photograph I put up somewhere will I be pulled up for disciplinary action? All these were a little going overboard. So from that sense, all of those restrictions has sort of got removed now. So what it says is members are now allowed to do audio kind of messaging as well as podcasts. They're allowed to do in addition to the videos which were additionally earlier permitted, as long as they're educational in nature. So whether it's a topic on GST or income tax or whatever, you are allowed to do podcasts. When you do those podcasts, you can also have your name coming in. The firm name also can come in. So those were prohibited earlier. You are now allowed to publish your firm name. So I know many young chartered accountants here. They have so much of deep knowledge on topics like GST, the new Income Tax Act 2025 and all, and they do a lot of educational activities. They would like to have the benefit of their effort in dissemination of the knowledge getting recognized across a wider section of the society. So from that sense, there's one major relaxation which has been done, including making available contact details of the members who are doing it. So your name and mobile number also, you could publish it as part of that particular audio cast or video or podcast which has been done. The next change is virtual programs, webcasts, etc., which you do. Earlier, what was allowed is within a firm, almost all the audit practicing firms I know, every Saturday or first Saturday of a month, some period, everybody has some training programs within the firm. Fellow firms, like-minded firms also to those training programs. Many a time they are telecast also so that like-minded firms, the staff can also see. But now it's relaxed where you are allowed to invite others as well. For example, let's say there is a program on GST or training session on GST, which is being done on a particular Saturday. You feel 6 or 7 clients, financial department team, the tax team, you want to invite them to attend that program. You are welcome to extend the invitation to them also to attend to that particular training program. So that's again one major relaxation which has been done now. And when you write articles to the press or any journal, you are allowed to publish the name of the firm also to which you belong. Networking firms and networking guidelines, institutes efforts to increase size of the firms, encourage firms to become larger. The effort seems to be unending. So many efforts the institute does. All through my 6 years, I've seen the institute having continuous conversations on how the capacity building can be done, how large firms can be built. And now different forms of networking, alliance model, lead firm model, this model, that model. So many varieties have come. Personally, I have a different view on those, but they're all reflective of the institute's effort and desire to see larger accounting firms. Merits of those, each of those models, let's park it aside. But institute has a strong desire that we should have firms of a larger size. And being an industry, I can share with you, the requirement for large firms is very, very high, very high. In fact, most often than not, we end up zeroing in on about 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 firms we end up zeroing in on. We don't like it, but we end up with only with those 8, 9, 10, 20 firms. We are unable to move out of that. So even industry has been waiting for a day where we can have larger firms, where you have firms of 300 people, 500 people, 700 people, and some bit of true partnership and true sort of a corporate culture in those accounting firms. So towards that direction, lot of relaxation has been done for the networking guidelines. The name of the network you are allowed to publish. You can also publish who are all the other firms part of the network. Let's say there are 7 firms in the network. So as part of your firm, you can say that I belong to so-and-so network, and these are the 6 other firms in my network. The names of all the other 6 firms also you can add it to your profile. So that's something which is allowed, whether it's a website, your letterhead, or whatever communication to demonstrate size. So that's one important relaxation which has been done. And website also, relaxations have been done to publish these things. This is a consequential amendment. Earlier, what was allowed was only registered post. Today, registered post almost not there. Speed post is what is followed. So this is a consequential amendment which recognizes speed post as well. And then this is a requirement which is relating to a small technical one. Ideally, it should have got covered in the earlier code of ethics. It missed attention. When companies appoint auditors, the code of ethics requires compliance with section 139, 140. But 141 is also an equally important section because section 141 of Companies Act talks about the eligibility, disqualification, etc. So that's an equally important section. Ideally, 141 should have been captured in the erstwhile code, whatever reason it missed out. So that's been added now as part of the code of ethics. So as far as the advertisement guidelines are concerned, again, direction, trend. So you're allowed to give write-ups about your firms in various places and including directories also. You can add, directories was not there earlier, but now in directories, you can add details about your firm. But what is important here is they have added a word called contemporary. So when you are publishing your profile, typically profile used to be a text of 100 words, 200 words and all. But now the contemporary could be some pictures, some chart, some graphs. So those kind of things can be used for communication. So that's now allowed, which was not allowed earlier. So that's again an important amendment which has come in place now. And in the advertisement guidelines, and for some of us sitting now, it looks like, why did these even survive the last 30, 40 years? For example, there were restrictions on the size of the font, which can be used. Those font size have been removed now. I'm sure anybody who writes a font of 20, nobody is going to read that page also. Nobody's going to read the page. For a font of 8 also, nobody is going to read. All of us invariably would end up with a font somewhere between 11, 12, 13, 14. So in any case, those kind of guidelines have been removed. So font size, no restrictions are there. And the mention of mandatory mention of firm FRN used to be there. So there's no requirement to mention the membership number of the FRN number. Flexibility of content, what content you want to add. As long as it's professional nature, you can add whatever appropriate content. So that's allowed now. And the last one is very important. That's a major transformation, I would say. Be it your website or other communication which you do for exclusive services which are reserved for chartered accountants, example, audit and all, which are reserved for chartered accountants. Non-exclusive services, whether it is bookkeeping, internal audit, litigation services, consulting services, AI consult services, they're all called non-exclusive services. As far as exclusive services are concerned, you are allowed to mention the name of the client as long as the client has given you permission for putting up the name. For non-exclusive services with client permission, you can put up the name, you can put up the nature of service which you have rendered. I did forensic, I did legal support, whatever. You can add the nature of service. Also, you can add as part of your advertisement guideline. And this is a major transformation. Many of us always hesitate to put this. And with all the search technologies, AI, all that stuff, if you have a decently good client and it's part of your website or other communication literature which is there, it will get picked up when people do a search function. So this is a big transformation, big relaxation, which has now been given in the revised code of ethics. So what constitutes exclusive, non-exclusive? I just talked about it. And for exclusive services, as in the past, website has to be run only on a pull mode, whereas non-exclusive services, you are allowed to do it on a push mode. You can send communication, you can send mailers, etc. All that freedom is now available as far as your non-exclusive services is concerned. And website for networks, this is again one of the relaxations as far as the networking is concerned. Now, this is again an interesting one. These are all things, again, many times we think it could have been done long back, but better late than never. So photo gallery, earlier what you were allowed is to only put up a passport size photograph only was allowed. But now in the website of the firm, you can put up photographs of the events organized by the firm. You can also put up photos where I went and spoke at CII, I went and spoke at BCS, I went and spoke at SARC regional conference at Guntur on 7th and 8th, which I'm inviting on behalf of Subbarao to all of you to come to Guntur. So all those conferences which you go, the photographs which are there, those photographs you are allowed to now put it up. Earlier, there was a prohibition on putting those photographs, but now those photographs can be put up at the website. So that's a big change which is there. Mentioning names, I already talked about it. And then amendment in website guidelines. So this is something again which is little again part of the transformational one. In fact, many of us can expect more relaxation, but what is important to recognize that Institute, after so many years of battle by so many people, has done this first set of relaxations. If all of us can practice these with good values, I'm sure Institute will get the confidence to relax much more in time to come, So now, as far as website is concerned, you are allowed to publish your peer review status. You are allowed to publish your AQMM status, audit quality maturity model status. After a review has been done by peer reviewer or AQMM reviewer, you are allowed to publish the same as part of the website, so that when somebody reaches your website, you know that your firm has been reviewed for quality. This is the status of the quality certificate. This is the AQMM status, which is their level 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. So those you can publish it. Affiliation with the network, you can disclose the same in the website, and also mention about any position which you're occupying as far as the institute, any of the office bearership roles which you might have. And listing with application service aggregators. So as far as the application which are there for service aggregators are concerned, 3-4 important points. As far as the non-exclusive services are concerned, recall non-exclusive services are services other than statutory audit, etc., reserved exclusively for chartered accountants. As far as non-audit services are concerned, you are allowed to list yourself in any of the aggregating websites. That's point number 1. As far as the exclusive services are concerned, you're not allowed to list yourself. So non-exclusive, you are allowed to list. Exclusive, you're not allowed to list. The third one is, if there is a government portal, a GEM portal or any other portal which is there, where in those portals, if there's a requirement calling for the chartered accountant to list themselves, whether exclusive or non-exclusive, you are allowed to do it. And Institute itself is now maintaining a portal for all the service providers. Your names can be listed out there. So this is again a transformational change which has been proposed here. Chapter 4, Guidelines on Ethical Issues. This is one nomenclature change which all of us need to take note of. The nomenclature changes. Earlier it used to be called Council General Guidelines. Now it's called Guidelines on Ethical Issues 2026, and it covers a set of topics. A few of them I'll talk about. The first major change, particularly for those who have started practice and may not be fully aware, as practicing chartered accountants, there are some minimum set of books of account which you are required to maintain, which most of us in any case maintain, thanks to Tally, Zoho, whatever it is, we all maintain. Cash book ledger, but there's a mandatory requirement for maintaining what is called as a bill register. So anytime an inspection comes, your bill register has to be updated. So I know there are people who maintain a bill register. I also know people who just account it whenever the receipt comes, etc. So even if you are following a cash basis accounting, which is what most of us will be doing, for the invoices which you have raised, for the bills which you have raised on your clients, you are required to maintain a bill register. So that's a mandatory book which has been added. So when a peer reviewer comes the next time around, among the several documents they will go through is whether a bill register is being maintained. So that's one change which has been done now. appointment of auditor in case of non-payment of undisputed fees. So if there are undisputed fees, the auditor is prohibited if it is not paid. If it is not paid, auditor is prohibited from continuing the service. However, one exception has been given for those companies which are under insolvency process. For those companies, even if there are undisputed fees payable to an auditor, the same auditor can continue, or some other auditor can also come and take up that particular assignment when there are pending dues. Otherwise, if there are undisputed dues, you are not supposed to accept that assignment until it has been paid off. And one important amendment which you should take note of is the last line. The undisputed fees includes the tax amount also. So if the billing is, let's say, 5 lakh, the 5 lakh 90,000 will be treated as the total due. Somebody paying 5 lakhs and skipping 90,000 will not work. So the fee includes the tax portion also. By common sense, obviously, yes, but a specific empowerment to all of us. I see these as empowerment to us when we are engaging with clients, select a set of clients. These kind of empowerment certainly help. This is again a very important amendment to take note of. The arithmetics looks a little complex on the face of it, and it looks a little restrictive, but actually it is intended to be a little liberal as well. Earlier code of ethics, we are allowed to do audit of 30 companies. That 30 ceiling has been increased to 40. This amendment has come on the back of the Companies Act amendment, and you have to read it in the context of the Companies Act amendment. What the Companies Act amendment says is you are allowed to be an auditor for only 20 companies, and that 20 companies list excludes 1% companies, excludes dormant companies, and it also excludes all private limited companies up to a capital of about 100 crores, private companies up to a capital of 100 crores. So all these three have been excluded, which means it is 20 companies plus, and private companies up to 100 crore capital is a fairly large number. But as far as the ICAI 40 limit is concerned, again to ensure discipline, quality of service, this 40 companies excludes only 1% companies and dormant companies, which means the 40 includes all the private limited companies audit as well. So my view, let's assume you do 20 public limited companies, you have another 20 of private limited companies per person to do, which I believe is a reasonable number to deliver quality and all. So that's the way the numbers have to be read out. This is in the context of public sector audits. In the context of public sector audits, earlier for turnovers up to 50 crores, if you are a statutory auditor, you can do non-audit services. If it is exceeding 50 crores, you can do non-audit services up to your equal amount of your audit fee. If your audit fee is 20 lakhs, you can do non-audit services up to 20 lakhs. But now this 50 crores cap has been changed to 250 crores. So up to 250 crores, this restrictions doesn't apply. Only above 250 crore turnover, you have this restriction of the non-audit services fee should not exceed the fee equal to your statutory audit fee. And appointment of an auditor, these are all numbers which hopefully in an environment where it is a principle-based environment, the couple of provisions which have become rule-based, but these are all rule-based because members have been asking for guidance. So there can be cases where there is an indebtedness. I'm doing a bank branch audit, or I'm doing audit of an NBFC where I took a vehicle loan or whatever, and there's a loan outstanding of 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 7 lakh, 8 lakh, whatever loan amount is outstanding. Earlier, the word used to be materiality, whether it was immaterial and all. But now they have removed that and they put the word as 5 lakhs. It used to be 1 lakh. That 1 lakh is now revised to 5 lakhs. And the second important thing is this particular condition is not applicable for internal audit and concurrent audit. So which means if I'm taking up an internal audit of an NBFC and a vehicle loan of 7 lakhs outstanding, I can do. I getting a bank branch audit where there's a housing loan of 20 lakhs pending and it's an internal audit assignment or concurrent audit assignment, I'm allowed to do. So that's another important relaxation which has come in, and this was an ask which many members did have. And fees in respect of minimum fee provisions. First and foremost, as far as the minimum fee is concerned, the requirement is wherever a minimum fee has been prescribed for a particular service by the central government, state government, or any other regulator, the member shall not quote a fee below that. And if the council has prescribed, maybe in due course, prescribed a minimum for a particular category of services, you need to honor the same. Again, an important one, non-payment of undisputed fees. For public interest entities, if undisputed fees has not been paid for a year, you are not allowed to pursue audit for the next year. For non-public interest entities, who are public interest, I'll come few minutes later. For non-public interest entities, the time frame is 2 years. 2 years undisputed fee, you can do work, but beyond that, you cannot do the work. The exception is for those companies which are under the IBC process. For those companies, they will not get covered. This is a recommendation, of course, and I'm sure all of us follow this. At least to my knowledge, at least in most cases, people have stopped accepting cash checks and all. So the recommendation of the council is the fees has to be only in a digital mode. So this is not a mandatory one, but this is a recommendatory provision of the council, which is included in the Code of Ethics. Then this is regarding the other amendments in the appendices of Volume 1. As a chartered accountant practice, if I have a managing consulting firm, which is registered with the institute as per the institute guidelines, I'm allowed to take the responsibility of a whole-time director, responsibility of managing director or manager. That's an option which is available, which is allowed. And for those who pursue teaching along with practice, erstwhile norms was 25 hours a week. That has now been relaxed to 35 hours a week. And services which are permitted by management consulting firms, the list has been enhanced a little. It's largely all the non-exclusive areas, which includes administrative services. Don't get me wrong, but I have come across one firm, reasonable size firms. While people do provide accounting resources, resources for tax support, I've come across one accounting firm who provides staff for reception, office reception area. They have provided some people for those reception services. So there's a nice smile in Sripriya's face. Unfortunately, Vidya can't go there. She knows that firm probably, but otherwise I've seen that firm provide that. But my view is all these relaxations are intended to help us carry on in a disciplined manner. My only request is to stay away from using this very widely. Do things which are adjacent space, something which is not adjacent space, self-discipline, try to avoid. I've seen this billing coming from, and there are firms also who do things like, I will do PowerPoint presentations for you. So I'll do those skill set. There are firms who do those kind of services. So do services, but try to do as much as possible, which are adjacent space. But Code of Ethics has now been relaxed. It allows you to do something much more broader. Forensic accounting and investigation, research analysts and others, which I mentioned about it earlier. And then for those who are in the office bearer position, they're allowed to publish in their visiting card, I'm council member so-and-so term, I'm member of SAFA, CAPA, all those kind of things. It's now allowed to be done. And new CA guidelines are come, new logo is there. That new logo is about the institute's identity. So that's also been part of the Code of Ethics now. Volume 2, important changes I'll walk you through. First and foremost is the CA Act, ICAI CA Act refers to all of us as chartered accountants, but the Code of Ethics always referred to us as professional accountants. The code of ethics, as I told, is a control C, control V of the International Code of Ethics. So CA Act referred all of us as chartered accountants, but code of ethics always use, our code of ethics always use the word professional accountant practice, professional accounting service. So one of the edits which have been done is harmonizing. So the word professional accountant no longer exists. So wherever the word professional accountant is there, it's now replaced by chartered accountant service, chartered accountant in practice. So that's a change which has been done. Then certain other amendments about honesty. They have added some application guidance has been added. And as I told you, the national fever which is there. So you have the word Satyameva Jayate also coming inside the code of ethics. Truth only triumphs. All of those have been brought in inside the code of ethics. This is a very important one, and forget about the code of ethics. More from an audit perspective, this is a very nice provision which is there now. All of us have been advised, guided, trained to avoid bias in the work which we do, particularly audit work we do. The code of ethics historically had very limited guidance on what this bias is and how do you protect yourself. The new code of ethics, and I would encourage everyone who is in audit, everyone who does audit, this particular section, I think it's worth spending 15 minutes after you get back to your work on Monday, whenever. This is a very important section. So in the code of ethics now, bias has been classified as two categories: conscious bias, unconscious bias, conscious bias and unconscious bias. And the truth is, most of us have an unconscious bias. Conscious bias, we all put some amount of effort to avoid it, but without our knowledge, there's a lot of unconscious bias which sets in our decision making. So the code of ethics has this section which nicely talks about what is conscious bias, unconscious bias, and it lists down different examples of bias, Interest of time, I'll not explain everything, but I'll just read the headers alone. And I'm sure with the headers, all of you should be able to connect. It talks about anchoring bias. Anchoring bias means we first form an opinion, and anything we do, we try to align it only to that opinion. And this is not something which is uncommon. In fact, look at our career, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years and all. I have come across, whether myself or other professionals we engage, more often than not, you have taken an initial position, and everything you think and you do, everything revolves only around that. So you have anchored yourself there. You're not willing to move yourself away from that. So that's called an anchoring bias. Similarly, there's an automation bias. There's something all of us are very familiar. Anything which comes as a computer printout, we tend to believe it is true, despite the fact that we know it's garbage in, garbage out, and in the process, so much mismanagement can be done. But even today, I know the moment it comes as an electronic printout, people tend to blindly believe that electronic printout. And the sad part, and I'm sure all of you are aware, today, the moment you get something on Google, we believe it is correct. Anything AI generated, we believe it's correct. Copilot generated, we believe it is correct. ChatGPT generated, we believe it is correct. And we have conditioned our mind to that. And I can just warn at least the youngsters. For me, evening of my life, fortunately, I will not have to put up with this too much. But for youngsters, this alone can be a killer for your profession. There's a beautiful book of Vineet Nair, former HCL chairman, managing director, where he's authored a book on humans first, AI next. So I think that's the title. So that's a good book where he gives in a storytelling form examples of how important human in the loop and how more important it is human intelligence to be greater than artificial intelligence. So that's again an important one. Third is availability bias. This is again something very familiar. We form our opinion based on whatever is available. There's hardly effort which you put for identifying what is not available, which can actually change your opinion. Confirmation bias. bank confirmation, customer confirmation, vendor confirmation. We tend to blindly believe it as correct. It meets our audit documentation requirement without the need to verify whether that particular confirmation itself was correct. That's a confirmation bias. Similarly, group thinking bias. In a group think bias, typically for matters of judgment, most firms have a practice where a firm of a panel of 3 members, panel of 5 members sit and decide what needs to be done. And typically in a group thinking, what happens is more or less whoever is more assertive, the view goes towards that. It kills the individual creativity of certain people. So that bias you need to be conscious. Overconfidence bias, representation bias, and selective perception bias. So these are all different types of bias which are there. And I would strongly encourage this section of the volume of 2 of Code of Ethics. All of you should certainly spend some time because it has a direct correlation to the work which we all do. And for protecting ourselves, the Code of Ethics gives us 3 remediations. It gives us 3 remediations. How do you protect yourself from any instance of bias? 1, get expert advice from somebody. Second is consult others so that you can challenge any of these bias which are there. That's the second one. Third is undergo a training yourself where you don't become a victim of that particular bias, victim of that particular. My view in this entire evening of 45-50 minutes, if there's something so very important, it is the previous slide which I talked about the different types of bias which are there. All of us practice bias. I'll give a very personal example. God has been kind to bless me with 3 children. Like it, don't like it. All of us, daughter, you generally have that little bias. All are equal, but daughter always you have a little extra bias. That's an unconscious bias. And daughter, right from the young age, there is an advantage where that guy would not have hit her also, but she would start dropping some 2 drops of water from Ganga and everything goes off on that fellow. And you heard that fellow that he doesn't speak to you for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So these are all things of unconscious bias. And I've seen an example in life, there are celebrated CEOs, celebrated CFOs. So when you interact with them, you tend to believe that that is correct. You don't tend to question yourself. So these are 3 remedies which are there. Consult an expert, engage with others and build enough ammunition for you to challenge the assumption. Third, undergo a training yourself on how do you handle this bias. This part is beautifully copy-pasted from the International Code of Ethics. So please don't be under the impression this is our own document. Volume 2, as I told you, is copy-paste. So this comes from that and there's a very nice guidance which is now available. This is on non-compliance with laws and regulations. This has unfortunately had a checkered history. This is something which all of us should have been very happy because it's a very empowering one, particularly for people who are employed in companies, members in service. In companies, if you come across any violation, some pollution violence, some FEMA violation, this, that, etc., you are required to put a hand up. If I'm a chartered and I'm a senior person in the company, I am required to put my hand up and say that there is a FEMA violation. There is a potential wrong accounting treatment which is being considered. I have to put up my hand. If I don't do that, I risk disciplinary action from the institute. So this particular provision was brought in a phased manner, and it was brought in for companies with net worth above 250 crores. But now this amendment, it is applicable for all listed companies and every subsidiary which is more than 10% in terms of the size, materiality. So all of them, it is now applicable. This is again a provision relating to NOCLAR, which is there in the international code. Our code, we had repealed it. We said we will not follow this. Because people might not be very excited to follow this. What this provision says is for people in industry, it's an empowerment. What it says is, if there is an imminent breach, you don't wait for the breach. You expect a breach is likely to happen. It puts a responsibility on you to call up, to lift your hand and say that, look, there's this potential breach and there's a guidance available on how do you go about communicating that beats the hierarchy and things like that. So that's again a welcome restoration which has happened. Definition of public interest entity. Couple of whatever is bold is the one which is now added. Public interest entity, our understanding always has been listed companies. They have now said that any deposit accepting company is a public interest entity. Any company which has borrowings above 500 crores is a public interest entity. So that's the expansion of the definition which has been done. So this is regarding non-acceptance of audit of public interest entities, where you have done a non-audit service earlier. So I gave a tax-related advice or whatever non-audit service earlier, and now I'm being considered for appointment as a statutory auditor. I can accept it only if I have stopped the non-audit service, or the non-audit service which I have rendered in the past, 6 months back, 1 year back, I gave an advice, and that advice will not create a self-review threat later. So like, for example, I gave very aggressive tax advice, and tomorrow if I become a statutory auditor, I have to obviously support that particular advice. So as a non-audit service, you can always give a aggressive position. It is a company's choice of risk, how much risk they can do. What is their risk profile? It is a company's choice. But after you gave this advice 6 months back, 1 year back, now you become the auditor of the company. You will be required to comply with exactly whatever advice which you have given earlier. So those situations, you are not allowed to accept the audit assignment. So that's a change which is there. Fee dependency. This is not applicable for firms who have fees up to 50 lakhs total, or from a single client up to 20 lakhs. So those are excluded. Those are excluded. Almost everyone here, I would like to see everybody is above 50 lakhs only. So from that perspective, this is applicable. What it says is, if it is fee from a public interest entity, your client concentration should not exceed more than 20%. If it is from a non-public interest entity, the client concentration should not exceed 40%, but you have a time of 4-5 years to correct yourself. For example, I am in the formative years of my practice. I just quit my job. I started formative years of practice. I have an income of 80 lakhs. Out of 80 lakhs, 60 lakhs is coming from a single client, non-exclusive service, no problem. But as within the 5 years time, you have to increase your denominator or rationalize the numerator to ensure that you are within this 40% norm. So this is a fairly balanced one, so that your independence of the firm is not affected. And there's a very important compliance requirement. In case there is a breach, earlier you are required to report to the Ethical Standards Board, but now you are required to report to the Peer Review Board, and you have to do it within 9 months. Within 9 months, you are required to report to the Peer Review Board, this particular change which has been done. And this is about making loans or giving guarantee. So where a chartered accountant, I have given a loan to a firm, to a company. It can be, I gave a deposit or whatever. And today I'm being considered for being appointed as an auditor. Earlier, the word was immaterial. Now they have given a principle, rule-based guidance of 5 lakhs. So if there's a company which I'm going to accept as audit, and I gave a fixed deposit of 3 lakhs to that NBFC or whatever, I'm allowed to continue to accept that mandate of an audit. So this is about the changes. The other changes, welcome Prasanna, welcome President of things. So friend, so I took the liberty of calling him a name. So first person of the institute, welcome Prasanna. Yeah. So how much more time is there? Okay. Okay. So I'll almost conclude. So the other important provision is wherever a statutory auditor is doing a non-audit service, now picking up a non-audit service, there are prescriptions which have been now laid down, which say that before you accept a non-audit service, the auditor needs to inform those charged in governance, which is nothing but audit committee, effectively audit committee, saying that this particular non-audit service, if you're going to accept, it is not going to create a self-review threat. It is not going to impact our independence, or we have taken adequate measures for reducing the impact of such impact on the self-review threat. Provided you do that, you can accept the non-audit service. So that's the other provision which is there. So with this, let me sort of conclude and leave you here for the next exciting session. So thank you all for your patient listening and pleasure being here today. Thank you all.
Thank you, Shri MP Vijay Kumar sir, for such an insightful and thought-provoking session on the new Code of Ethics. You have reminded us once again that ethics continue to remain the cornerstone of our profession. May I now request Shri Priya, Central Council Member, CA Subbarao Muppala, Chairman SIRC, and CA Pramod Kumar Hegde, Secretary SIRC, to accompany our guests, Shri CA Prasanna Kumar D, President of the ICAI, Most Worshipful Brother GK Selvarajan, Grand Master, Grand Lodge of India, and Shri V. Irayanbu, IAS retired, former Chief Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu. I request Shri Irayanbu sir to come on stage. Respected members of the fraternity and distinguished guests, we shall now proceed with the formal memorial proceedings as we assemble in solemn remembrance to pay tribute to a distinguished personality whose life and legacy continue to inspire us. To invoke the divine blessings and pay tribute to the cherished memory of Shri T.N. Manoharan sir, an exemplary leader whose life was a beacon of probity, humility, and selfless service. We respectfully request our esteemed dignitaries on the dais to kindly light the ceremonial lamp. This solemn ceremony will be accompanied by offering of floral tributes in honor of our beloved past president. I also request the family members of TNM sir to join. I request our regional council member, CA Dr. Abhishek, to also join in lighting of the lamp. And Rekha Umashiv. And Revati ma'am also. As we stand here, having paid a floral tribute to Mr. T.N. Manoharan, we are reminded that the truest tribute to a life so devoted to service, integrity, and fellowship is to carry forward the values he lived by. It is in that spirit that we gather today for this, the first memorial program instituted in his honor. I now request C.A. Shripriya K., Central Council member, to step forward, honor, and present a memento to the most worshipful brother G.K. Selvarajan, recipient of the Order of Service to Masonry, as a token of our heartfelt gratitude. Thank you, sir and ma'am. I request CA Pramod Ramamohan Hegde, Secretary SIRC of ICAI, to honor and present a memento to Shri V. Irayanbu sir as a token of our deep respect. I request Shri R. Bhubati sir, past President of ICAI, to kindly honor our President Shri Prasanna Kumar D and present him with a memento. Thank you, sirs. T.N. Manoharan, sir, firmly believed that punctuality was a reflection of discipline, respect, and professionalism. He valued not only his own time, but also that of others. It is therefore a matter of great satisfaction that, in keeping with values he so steadfastly upheld, and with his blessings guiding us, we have commenced this memorial program exactly as scheduled. This would definitely be a tribute to our beloved TNM sir. We will now have an AV about the journey of our Manoharan sir.
The Padma Shri itself did not bring me happiness. What truly made me happy was seeing my profession celebrated and knowing my parents were proud. Because in life, the greatest accomplishment is the day you make your parents proud.
On April 7th, 2010, Mr. T.N. Manoharan stood at Rashtrapati Bhavan to receive the Padma Shri from the President of India. Far away in Gudiyatam, his father, by then completely blind, sat before the television as his children described every moment of the ceremony. There was not a single dry eye in the room. Just a year earlier, he had been one of the 6 special directors appointed by the government of India to revive Satyam after one of the country's biggest corporate crises. Together, they achieved what many thought was impossible. The company was revived in just 100 days. Unknown to him, it was his fellow directors who recommended his name for the Padma Shri, a recognition that was never sought, only earned. But this story did not begin in boardrooms or at Rashtrapati Bhavan. It began in a small village called Rajukoil. Born in Vellore to freedom fighter T.L. Narayansamy Chowdhury and Sarada Ammal, Manoharan grew up in an environment where honesty, discipline, and service was simply a way of life. Walking to school, reading in the village library, working alongside agricultural laborers, and spending summers with his grandparents quietly shaped the values that would guide every decision he would later make. At 17, he left his village for Chennai with one goal: to build a meaningful life through education. After graduating from Pachepas College, he pursued chartered accountancy under K. Subbayya Naidu. In 1983, he qualified as a chartered accountant, securing an All India rank in the intermediate examination. Learning, however, never stopped. He went on to complete a postgraduate degree in commerce, a law degree, and later earned an IFRS certification from the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. In 1984, following the passing of his mentor, he started his own practice from a modest 300 square foot office. With the unwavering support of his wife, Dr. Sujata Manoharan, who stood beside him through every stage of that journey, the small practice steadily grew into Manohar Chowdhury and Associates, a respected firm with multiple offices and hundreds of professionals. Yet, one principle never changed. The firm would never solicit work. Its reputation would be built on competence, trust, and professional ethics. Alongside his practice, another commitment emerged: teaching. Beginning in 1988, he devoted himself to educating chartered accountancy students. He taught outside office hours, conducted free revision classes across India, supported underprivileged students, and authored books that became trusted references for generations. For him, knowledge was valuable only when it was shared. At 44, he entered professional leadership through the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He was elected to the Central Council, Records, and later served as Vice President and President of ICAI. His tenure brought meaningful reforms. The Common Proficiency Test opened the profession to students immediately after class 12. Examination centers expanded to smaller towns. Branches across the country gained permanent infrastructure. Yet, beyond every reform stood a simple philosophy: institution above individual, service above self. Those were not merely words. During his tenure as president, when a prestigious statutory audit opportunity was informally suggested to him, he declined. He believed the office he held represented the profession, not his own practice. Then came 2009. The Satyam crisis shook corporate India. The Padma Shri that followed became a recognition not only of that achievement, but of a lifetime of integrity. In the years that followed, the nation continued to place its trust in him. He served as chairman of Canara Bank, guiding the successful merger with Syndicate Bank. The Reserve Bank of India entrusted him with leading the resolution of Lakshmi Vilas Bank and contributing to major financial reforms, including corporate loan restructuring during the COVID-19 pandemic. He also served as chairman of IDBI Bank and on the boards of institutions including Tech Mahindra, Mahindra and Mahindra, and NABFID. Yet perhaps the most defining choices of his life were the quietest ones. After serving as president of ICAI, he stepped away from active professional practice to dedicate himself to public service. Inspired by the values of his father, he believed that professional success carried with it a greater responsibility to serve the nation. In his later years, his journey in Freemasonry gave this belief another expression. Having served as regional Grand Master of Southern India, he embraced its ideal of making a good man better, not for rank or recognition, but to help build a better society. Looking back on his remarkable journey, Mr. T.N. Manoharan often said that every position he held was never a matter of status. It was a responsibility. As a chartered accountant, he served the profession. As a teacher, he shaped generations. As a public servant, he strengthened institutions. And as a human being, he showed that integrity, humility, and service are not simply ideals to admire, but values. Perhaps his own words describe that journey best. We must justify our existence by touching as many lives as possible. I truly believe that I got more blessings to count than what I deserve. Perhaps those blessings were through a lifetime spent in the service of others. Though deeply missed by many, his impact endures. In the institutions he strengthened, the lives he touched, and the enduring legacy of service is down.
ஈன்ற பொழுதின் பெரிதுவக்கம் தன் மகனை சான்றோன் என கேட்ட தாய். TNM sir has definitely made not only his mother and family proud, but also the CA fraternity and the entire mankind. No one carries a legacy quite like family. It is with great warmth that we invite CATM Malavika, elder daughter of Shri T.N. Manoharan sir, to deliver the welcome address for this, the first memorial program in her father's honor.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, distinguished members of the profession, seniors, family, friends, and my dear students, I welcome each one of you to the first memorial program of our father, CATN Manoharan. Today's program, as we all know, began with a technical session on the Code of Ethics, and we felt it was the most appropriate topic Because if there was one foundation on which Dad built his life and profession, it was ethics. We are deeply grateful to MPV sir for handling this session for us. Thank you, sir. Coming from a person of such professional standing and integrity, it has truly added great meaning to today's program. When we began planning this memorial program, we were contemplating hosting it at a hotel. However, during one of our discussions, one of Dad's partners mentioned that it would be truly meaningful to have it here at the SIRC premises, because this is where Dad made his debut as a public speaker at the CA Study Circle meeting, which was held on 25th February 1988. And this is the place where he also began his teaching journey later that year. The moment we realized that, the decision was made. There could not have been a more fitting venue than this place, where two of his greatest passions, teaching and public speaking, began. The past year has been deeply emotional for our family. Dad's passing was sudden and something none of us were prepared for. I last spoke to him the night before his demise. As always, he had travel plans ahead, professional responsibilities to attend to, a dinner get-together planned with my children in Coimbatore, and many more things that he wanted to do. But God had other plans for him and us. In the days and months that followed, we gathered strength from a prayer that Dad deeply believed in. Our prayer to God has been to grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. As his daughter, I've been trying to recollect Dad's words and principles more often than before. And in my own small way, I have tried my best to live by his values the past year and share them wherever possible. Every morning before I leave to work, I pause before Dad's photograph alongside my maternal grandfather, Mr. T.V. Venugopal, and silently pray that I may live and work in a manner that will make both of them proud. This silent prayer did not just give me comfort, but also the strength that although they may no longer be physically around, their values, which I have watched growing up, will continue to guide me. There are few qualities of Dad that I truly admired. One, he always gave everybody the benefit of doubt. He always believed in understanding before judging and saw the good in everybody. It is not always easy, but I now understand how much wisdom there is in that approach. Second, by nature, I've been a reserved person and would hesitate to approach or even strike a conversation with people I truly admired. On the other hand, Dad enjoyed meeting new people and building genuine relationships. That is one quality I've consciously tried to imbibe the past year. Dad often shared a Tamil quote, "பிறப்பு நம் கையில் இல்லை, இறப்பு நம் கையில் இல்லை, ஆனால் வாழ்க்கை சிறப்பு நம் கையில் உள்ளது." And we believe Dad did not merely say these words, but lived them. As you all saw in the video, from being born in a small village in Raja Koil, Gudiyatham, and walking to school 5 kilometers every day, to being conferred the prestigious Padma Shri award, it is needless to say that Dad's life was filled with challenges and milestones, of which I would like to share 3 key defining facets, which in my opinion is an apt reflection of his life and philosophy. First was his passion towards teaching and his commitment to the profession. As you all saw in the video, at the peak of Dad's teaching career, he was handling 5 batches, all outside office hours, held once in 6 months before every CA examination. About 25% of those admissions were free of cost to the underprivileged students. He would also travel to ICAI branches in non-metro cities and towns and conduct free revision classes. All this while our family continued to live in rented premises in Nungambakam and thereafter Rithardan Road. Dad never waited to earn more before deciding to give more. His commitment to the profession extended far beyond the classrooms, especially when he got elected as the president of ICAI. Dad decided to relocate and reside in Delhi for 2 years, while my mother and my maternal grandparents took care of us. His partners took care of the firm. Despite the demanding role of leading an institute, Dad remained deeply connected with all the members by sharing fortnightly email updates and ensuring he responded to every phone call. As seen in the video, he truly believed institution above individual, service above self. Second was his deep patriotism. After laying down his office as the president of ICAI in 2007, Dad had two options. One, either to return to active practice or to devote his time to public service. Inspired by his father, a freedom fighter, Dad chose the latter. While he became a mentor to the firm that he founded, he dedicated his time and effort to responsibilities that were given by the government and RBI. Similarly, when he completed his tenure as the chairman of Canara Bank in 2020, despite receiving numerous opportunities from reputed corporate entities to serve as the independent director, he only accepted responsibilities that came from the government and RBI. He also took immense pride talking about India's progress wherever he went and took great honor in representing our country on international platforms, whether it was talking about India's union budget abroad or his vision of a Vikshit Bharat. Coincidentally, the last session of his that I had the opportunity to attend was on the 9th of July on this very same subject. And last but not the least, Dad has been in Freemason since 1994, a movement whose ideals of integrity and service he truly believed in. He was appointed as the Regional Grand Master of the Regional Grand Lodge of Southern India. Before taking it up, he inquired with us if he should. And I remember telling him that if it did not involve much travel, he may consider, because we wanted him to spend more time with us. But that is when Dad mentioned that when he entered the council and more particularly served as the president of ICAI, he felt he had justified his existence as a chartered accountant. When he shouldered the responsibilities given by RBI and government, he felt he had justified his existence as the citizen of the country. And henceforth, he wished to serve the society in such a manner so as to justify his existence as a good human being, and therefore took it up, and we believe he also truly lived up to it. We are deeply honored to have with us three distinguished personalities who represent these three key defining facets of Dad's life: the profession he loved, the nation he served, and the Freemason he deeply cared for. The intention behind today's memorial program is not just to honor our father, but to carry forward what he believed. He often said, the first 25 years we learn, the next 35 years we earn, but life becomes truly meaningful only when we share what we have learned and earned to those who are in need. On that note, it is our sincere hope that this memorial program organized by the SIRC will become an annual tradition, and we are also establishing a charitable trust in Dad's name to carry forward his legacy. On that note, I once again extend a heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Malavika, for those words and for allowing all of us here this evening to see once again a little more of the man behind the legend. Manoharan sir was many things to many people. A teacher who shaped generations, an author whose writings continue to guide students even today, and an institution builder even entrusted by the government. He was a visionary who truly lived by the philosophy, institution above individual, service above self. It was not merely something he said, it was how he lived in every single role entrusted to him. To share a reflection on his monumental journey and enduring legacy, I invite Shri Subbarao Muppala, respected Chairman, SIRC of ICAI, to deliver the memorial address.
Esteemed President ICAI, Sri Prasanna Kumar Garu, Guest of Honor, Shri V. Irayanbu, IAS, former Chief Secretary. Another Guest of Honor, G.K. Selvarajan, OISM Grand Master, and Central Council Member, C.S. Priya Kumar, SRC Secretary Pramod, and past Presidents, C.A.R. Bhupati and C.A.R. Balkrishnan Sir, and the past Central Council Member, MP Vijay Kumar Sir, and my council colleagues, and past Chairman of SIRC, C.A. Falgun Kumar Sir, family members of C.A.T.N. Manoharan, and employees and partners of C.A. Manohar Chaudhary and Associates, admirers of late C.A.T.N. Manoharan, students and distinguished invitees. It gives me honor to be part of this memorial lecture organized by SIRC in honor and memory of late C.A.T.N. Manoharan Sir. Before my address to share about C.A.T.N. Sir, let me thank the family members in their efforts to conduct the memorial lecture annually. Let me also thank CMP Vijay Kumar Sir, past Central Council member, for being with us to address the new code of ethics. This subject has been chosen as a fitting tribute to the memory of C.A.T.N. Manoharan Sir, who stood for the principles, integrity, purity in public life and professional excellence. Friends, students are close to his heart. His inimitable style of teaching and to the vast sections of students' fraternity, his presentation of technical papers brings new visit to the subject. His address in various forums brought cheers to the audience. His personal touch with anyone and everyone is amazing. It is no wonder that he was liked by everyone. His accomplishment in 69 years of life are monumental. His contribution as a professional, as an administrator, as a tax expert, as an author, and as a leader are unique and profound. He was the mentor not only for the CA profession, but for many others in other diversified fields. While talking among the CA fraternity, I cannot but make mention about some amongst many landmark decisions in ICAI history. It was during his tenure as the president of ICAI, a new curriculum with CPT entrance mechanism after 12th standard, a new CA scheme of education and training for chartered accountants was launched. The nomenclature of article clerks was replaced by article assistants. The members were allowed to use the prefix CA with their names. ICO motor song in video and audio CDs, and an ICA film also was released as a part of brand building. CA Manoharan Sir was a multifaceted personality, personification of integrity, intelligence, innovation, involvement, and immaculate and initiative minded. After receiving the Padma Shri award, first he visited our Guntur branch, and we have to appreciate his simplicity. He came Guntur as a guest, but on the day the faculty is also from Chennai only. That income tax one of the resource person was unable to make it happen. He himself has taken the session of our Guntur branch to the members of on the day. That is the simplicity of Manoharan sir. And also he came twice. When I was Sikaha chairman, he came to Guntur. I am a direct student of Manoharan sir. He came to Guntur when I was Sikaha chairman, when I was the secretary, and when I was the chairman. Whenever I invited him, he came to Guntur. And also, we have to appreciate the family members, the politeness and the way Manoharan sir speaks with the members and students. We know him, we remember him. but even though family members also are following his footsteps. When I was in SIRC, Madam Sujata Madam came herself, and he told that, sir, we are going to organize this memorial lecture in SIRC, sir. You please come and attend me. He invited me personally, and he asked the office, when your chairman is there, please tell me the date. I will come and meet him personally. Like that, they call. That is the simplicity of their family also following the footsteps of Manoharan, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
My sincere thanks to Chairman Sir for this deeply moving address.
As we continue this evening's tribute, we now turn our attention to a bond that Manoharan Sir cherished deeply throughout his life, the enduring values of fellowship, trust, and shared purpose. To enlighten us on this philosophy of companionship, it is our honor to invite Most Worshipful Brother G.K. Selvarajan, recipient of the Order of Service to Masonry, the Most Worshipful, the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of India, to deliver his address on fraternal bonds. Before we proceed further, a few words about Freemasonry. Freemasonry is one of the world's oldest and largest fraternal organizations dedicated to promoting moral values, charity, fellowship, and personal development. Its members meet in groups known as lodges, united by a shared commitment to integrity, service, and lifelong learning. Chennai is home to Lodge Accountants, the unique Masonic lodge comprising around 175 members. We welcome you, sir, Most Worshipful Brother G.K. Selvarajan, to deliver the address.
Thank you. Mr. Prasanna Kumar, President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Mr. B. Irayanbu, IAS, former Chief Secretary of the Government of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Subbarao Moppala, Chairman, South India Regional Corp, Pramod Ram Hegde, Mrs. Shri, members of the family of late lamented brother T.N. Manoharan, distinguished invitees, and my dear friends. I deem it as a great privilege and honor to be here to participate in the first memorial program organized by the family. My association with TNM for the past 20 years and 6 months. Why I say this was, we joined this institution together in our second part of our life. I joined my institution at the second part of my life. TNM also joined at the second part of life. Our journey together started on 14th of December 2004 when Mr. Manoharan met me in my office with Mr. Trijanamurthy Chartered Accountant and invited me to the installation as the master of the lodge accountant. It's a unit. Lodge is a unit. And for which he was becoming a master, like a president. He invited me. He also gave me some books written by him. We spent about more than 1 hour. He was so humble, so simple, and so humane. It's very amazing for me. Probably, and later I came to know that he's very big in the chartered accountancy. He was a member, cell council member. He's also likely to become president of the ICAI Institute. Then our intimacy grew. We became very close. We started working together. Then I remember the date, 27th of July 2025. During that 20 years and 6 months, I saw him phenomenally growing in profession, in his public life, and everywhere, whatever he touched. He grew in a very, very great phase. The graph was going up and up and up and up. This is the pinnacle. But the humility and simplicity, what I found him on the 14th of December 2004 was the same humility, simplicity, humility I found him on 27th of July 2025. In fact, he became more humble, more simple than I met him for the first time. That is great. the more offices he held, the more higher he became, more simple and more human. Friends, there are few Hindu gods where, in the Hindu gods, we see the gods have 4 hands. Though the body is one, the head is one, legs are there. There are 4 hands. I used to wonder why it's happening. Because Shiva used to have 4 hands. One is Damaru, the other one is Agni, the other one is Mudra, and the 4th one is elephant tusk. Every hand has got a task. Similarly, Vishnu also has a conch, a chakra, a gada, and a lotus. Why 4 hands? I used to think, by which God tells all of us that, well, man, I'm giving you 6 senses. I'm also giving you energies, powers, and things that you can accomplish so many things in life. You are capable of achieving so many things in life. Use them. Use them properly. The faculties I'm giving you, you multiply. You become a full-fledged human being. Very rarely, friends, all these 4 attributes a person uses. We use only 1 or 2 hands. But there are very, very few in my life who did all that and more. One of the persons I mentioned is T.N. Manoharan. That's a great thing for him to, it's an amazing thing I've ever seen. So many things he has achieved from profession, from the involvement in the corporate world, banking, and then the clothes, everything. Few years ago, I went to US. There used to be some weekend meetings. I met a young man, maybe about 40, 50 years. I met him and he said, I'm a chartered accountant. I came to US, I've settled those. Accidentally, the topic came to about T.N. Manoharan. When I mentioned T.N. Manoharan, his face got brightened up. He said, sir, he's my idol because I was a student and he used to take lectures for me. And I used to admire him, sir. The discipline and the punctuality he used to teach was amazing. One of the ideal. The way in which he was describing, for 10 minutes, he was talking about T.N. Manoharan. That is the impact he made for every student he taught. I'm told that he has got almost 50,000 students throughout the world for whom he has given lectures. It's an amazing thing how a man can impress so many people with so much of good attributes in life. This is very amazing. Coming to Masonry, as you all know that in Masonry there are so many rituals. We perform rituals inside the temple. Rituals are not merely small, simple sentences. They've been there for more than 3 centuries. And we have to do rituals in every meeting. Very tough language, Shakespearean language. And the master is supposed to memorize it and reproduce it with so much of punctuation, etc. And there used to be competition every year. Competition among the masters. There'll be about Southern India where about 80 to 100 masters used to participate. Friends, when he was the master of Lord's accountants, he was toured Europe for 1 week. On the day of the ritual competition, on that day, evening of the meeting, morning he arrived from Germany, I think. He goes home, refreshes himself, comes to the meeting and does the ritual. And he got the best master award for service. That is the intellectual capacity. After 2 years, there was another group called Mark. He competes in that Mark degree. And then he becomes master, best master of that group also. After a year or 2, there's another group called chapter. He competes in that chapter also, becomes the best Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel means master of that group. Then he competes in another thing called RAM, he becomes the best master. How is it possible? One single person getting mastership, best master, all the 4 groups, he's probably the first of his kind. And Manoharan was able to catch. The amazing thing. Charity. See, charity is his distinguishing characters. We know that he has been doing charities in his individual capacity. But once he became the regional Grand Master, he made an endowment for the poor and distressed students for the education. He created an endowment. He, he collected about a few crores. And every year, students studying in medicine, students studying in engineering and other commerce courses, 30 students every year are getting benefit of it. It is going to go along for years and years together. That's the greatest impact he has made. Leadership. Before his demise, we had an RGL, Regional Lodge meeting in a particular city. And the organizers was finding it difficult to match the expenses because they found that budget was too high. There was not much of resources. They came to Manoharan, C.N. Manoharan, he was the regional master. He said, this is the problem. Immediately took out checkbook, signed, gave a blank check to him. Fill up the amount, whatever you want. Maybe a few lakhs. I don't know. You don't even tell me. Fill up the blanks. Be assured, this check is with you. Conduct the meeting. And the meetings were conducted in a very, very grand manner. But as God will decide it, he was not there at the meeting. Meanwhile, he passed. That's a tragedy. When he was the regional master, he had a term for 3 years. Normally, after the completion of the term, the Grand Lodge will give some very, very high distinction called OSM, Order of Service to Mason. Maybe after a few years of service is urgent. But he was the only person who got the OSM even during his term, halfway through, just for within 1.5 years, he got the OSM. It's a very remarkable thing. Friends, I don't want to elaborate much about that. Only one incident I would like to mention with that. The last day, 27th of July, 2025, that was his last meeting in Mason. We have been traveling from another place to Visakhapatnam. We had got down from the airport and I had some problem in my walking. There were about 8-10 of us with a big group. We are going outside, coming out of the airport. And Manoharan sir was with me. He found that some difficulty. He arranged a buggy. I got the buggy. He also got into the buggy. Though, he's a marathon runner and all that. We got into the buggy. We traveled to the gate, to the belt where we get the luggage. We were there about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We were there, sitting next to me, and conversing with me till the baggage came. The baggage, he went and got the baggage for me also. He got into the buggy, he came out. The reason is, he wanted me not to feel delicate, being alone, sitting alone in the back. That is a very subtle, very subtle emotion. Only I could understand. A man of that stature, of that caliber, of that muscle strength and all, he's so humane, so he's able to understand the other people's emotions. That's the greatness of Manoharan sir. I can be going on talking about him because a lot of speakers later. He is very fond of Tamil. He's a very great Pattibattam Pechalar. So I thought I will finish my speech with 1 or 2 lines about him. சகோதரனே நீ புகழோடு தோன்றினாய், புகழோடு வாழ்ந்தாய், புகழோடு மறைந்தாய். காலத்தை கணிக்க தெரிந்தாயே, காலத்தை means time. காலத்தை கணிக்க தெரிந்தாயே, ஏனோ காலனை கணிக்க மறந்தாயே. காலன் means காலத்தை கணிக்க தெரிந்தாயே, ஏனோ காலனை கணிக்க மறந்தாயே. ஆனால் காலம் கடந்து என்றும் நீ நினைவில் வாழ்வாய். சரித்திர பக்கங்களில் உன் முத்திரை நிலைத்திருக்கும். உன் காலச்சுவடிகள் என்றும் தடம் பதித்திருக்கும். இந்த தரணி உள்ள மட்டும் உன் புகழ் என்றென்றும் வாழும். வாய்ப்புக்கு நன்றி. விடைபெறுகிறேன். வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir, for that profound perspective on unity and fraternal duty. Moving on, our next speaker is a distinguished administrator, acclaimed author, and inspirational speaker who has steered public administration in our state with unparalleled dedication. Please join me in welcoming Shri V. Irai Anbu IAS retired, former Chief Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu, for the special address. It is fitting that today's speaker, in the memory of Shri T.N. Manoharan, is someone who knew him well and shares his deep commitment to public service. A 1987 batch IAS officer, Shri V. Irai Anbu rose over 3 decades of distinguished service to become Chief Secretary, the highest administrative post in the state. Like Manoharan sir, he has been widely recognized for combining professional excellence with genuine care for people, whether through his work in education and child welfare or as one of Tamil Nadu's most respected authors and motivational speakers. We are privileged to have him share his thoughts and memories with us today.
Respected Thiru Prasanna Kumar, President ICAI, Most Worshipful Brother Selvarajan, Grand Master, Grand Lodge of India, Respected Thiru Subbarao Mulapa, President SIRC ICAI, Respected Thiru Pramod Hegde, Secretary SIRC ICAI, Respected Shri Priya, Council Member, dignitaries of the dais, and the family members of Thiru T.N. Manoharan. I thank all of you for providing an opportunity to recapitulate some of the evergreen memories I have about an illustrious person, Thiru T.N. Manoharan. I was really thrilled when I heard about the personal dimensions of Thiru T.N. Manoharan when his daughter Malavika presented his bio picture from the family point of view. His family life and official life have very thin margin, and he lived with simplicity in both the arenas. During our civil services training, we had naval attachment for 7 days in Vizag. The Vice Admiral of the naval station told us that we should go to the sea in a ship to experience the hardships faced by the captain and the sailors. We were taken into the sea in INS Trishul, an ancient ship. When we entered into the sea, we had the thunderous roaring waves on the shore, and in an hour, we went into the deep sea, and silence was pervading everywhere. As we entered into the inner waters of the sea, the silence of the sea was almost deafening our ears, and we could only hear the conversation of our friends. We were thrilled by the deep cerulean sea, but at the same time, we were also threatened by the silence of the sea. I happened to meet Mr. T.N. Manoharan in 2000 AD when we visited our common friend, and he was introduced to us by the common friend. When I met him, I did not know anything about his academic achievements or professional acumen. I did not know anything about his career or his professional competence. He was almost calm like the deep silent sea, and I could not decipher anything from his nonverbal cues. He was so modest, and I could not guess anything about his achievements or his social contributions. Then I had a couple of occasions to meet him, and even then I found him modest. He never said anything about his personal life or professional life. He was almost like the gentle breeze. I am reminded of the concept of hollow bamboo said in Zen philosophy. You should be like the hollow bamboo so that the divine lips could dawn on you and produce a beautiful melody. He was allowing himself to be hollow and made the gentle breeze to flow through him and produce a melodious music. When I was shifted to Madurai and posted in an innocuous post, I informed him that I would be moving to Madurai. He asked me with genuine concern whether I knew anyone in Madurai, to which I shrugged my shoulders and gave a negative reply. He said that he would ask his students to meet me and confirmed my travel plan. I went in Pearl City Express and landed in Madurai in the wee hours, and at 3 a.m. I saw 3 able-bodied young men standing with a bouquet to receive me in the station. They were Auditor Thiru Shanmugasundaram, Thiru Bhaskaran, and Thiru Chandrasekharan. I never expected a bouquet for the Commissioner for Disciplinary Proceedings post, which is a condemned post. Then I smiled and said, bouquet for CDP post. Let me mention here that it was the only bouquet that I received during my entire tenure in Madurai. I recapitulated my visit to Madurai a year ago when I was the additional secretary in the CM Secretariat. The entire battalion of collectorate was standing there with shawls and bouquets, including the collector. Just in 1 hour, 1 year, everything has vanished. And I knew very well that the respect you receive for your designation is just an illusion. And if you think that it will continue forever, it will be a hallucination. I never knew that one of the students of Thiru T.N. Manoharan will become a lifelong companion for me, and he will ever be cherished by me, and he is none other than Auditor Thiru Shanmugasundaram. He is not the student of Thiru T.N. Manoharan, he is the disciple of T.N. Manoharan, and he gave a vivid verbal picture about his professional capacity and his knowledge on tax matters. He also said that he had tremendous knowledge on various other subjects. I could understand from what Thiru Shanmugasundaram said that Thiru T.N. Manoharan is a dictionary for ambiguous terms in taxation, is an encyclopedia for Income Tax Act, and library on financial matters. Later, I repented that I casually met him and did not interact on the other aspects of him by which I could have learnt more and more on finance and handling finance. Thiru Manoharan was celebrated by all the chartered accountants by virtue of his professional capacity and impeccable integrity. He was a guiding light for many youngsters who aspire to become chartered accountants. Of course, his journey of life itself is a lesson for all the poor children who want to come up in life. He never spoke anything about his influence or his achievements, but I learnt everything only through his students. As it was mentioned in the small clipping which was screened earlier, Thiru Manoharan hails from an ordinary family in a small village called Raja Koil in Gudiyatham Taluk. You could imagine how it would have been 70 years ago. He was born as one of the 5 children to Thiru Narayanaswamy Chowdhury and Saradamba. He was admitted in a local school, Thiruvalluvar High School, 5 kilometers away from his house, in an English medium. Even in the school days, he was a voracious reader and he used to read even the works of Shakespeare. Of course, that is one of the reasons why he has known about the characters of various people. Some people are like Lady Macbeth, some people are like Othello, some people are like Iago, some people are like Cassius, some people are like Brutus. That might have given him an edge in handling the people with enormous social intelligence and emotional intelligence. Later, he got his slippers only when he was in his 7th standard. That was the economic condition of the family. In the 10th standard, he got a Hercules cycle from his father, with which he used to commute to the school. Nothing deterred him from becoming the topper of the school in the school final examination. His father was not able to spare much money for his higher education and get him admission in premier institution, as he has already spent enough money for his elder brother in admitting in a medical college. So he joined Thirumagal Mill College of Arts and Science in Tiruvallur. In the college, the education was mediocre. 100 students appeared for pre-university course. 87 failed, 11 got 3rd class, 1 got 2nd class, and the T.N. Manoharan was the only student to get 1st class. And he was the first person to get 1st class ever in the history of Thiruvalluvar College of Arts and Science. In those days, they were not giving centum in Maths, centum in Tamil, centum in English. Even now, even in Tamil, they are getting centum. I don't know how they get centum in Tamil, because some grammatical mistakes they would have made. Even if Thiruvalluvar comes and writes about Thirukural, he would not be getting centum. The teachers have become liberal, kind-hearted, compassionate, and merciful. So he was the first person to get 1st class in that college, and he got admitted in Pache Pass. In Pache Pass, he pursued all extracurricular activities like sports and games, and he became an all-rounder. After completing BCom with honors, he joined the CA training program, and even during the training program, he was dexterously handling the tax matters when he met the income tax professionals. And you know how difficult it is to tackle the income tax professional, because I was one. Before becoming IAS officer, I was in income tax for 2 years, and I was assistant commissioner in Salem. There, of course, he excelled. So he won the hearts of many people. After finishing his TA as an All India rank holder, he joined law, and he wrote 20 papers at a stretch and cleared them all. Then he became a practicing chartered accountant. He was able to deliver lectures so well that he became an eloquent speaker. It's very difficult to speak on tax matters in an interesting fashion. Of course, I was able to hear through C.P. Vijay Kumar before this session. He was trying to make it interesting. Such a dry subject, but he was making it interesting with anecdotes, practical experiences, jokes, and humor. So he was celebrated by the students who pursued CA as their profession. Later, he wrote a book in 1996, the first book, and it became a bestseller. It was sold like hotcakes in the market. All the students who want to take up CA as their profession purchased the book and became the bestseller. He became one of the teaching faculty in ICAI because of that popularity and because of his academic excellence. In 2005, he contested in the vice president election in ICAI and he won hands down. And in 2006, he became the president of ICAI because of his significant contribution to ICAI. By virtue of his professional capacity, he was appointed as RBI nominee. In 2009, Satyam Computers got into a quagmire and the reputation of Satyam Computers got affected. He was appointed as one of the key persons to redeem Satyam Computers from the quagmire. He plugged the holes and retrieved it successfully, because of which he got the Padma Shri Award in 2010. He was the second chartered accountant professional to receive the Padma Shri Award. Then he became the chairman of Canara Bank and director of Mahindra and Mahindra. He also became the director, chairperson of Lakshmi Vilas Bank till it became DBS Bank. He also became the chairman of IDBI Bank. He is also one of the members of the International Audit Accounting Education Board. All these accomplishments have been done by him in a short span of time. Apart from this, in his personal life, he loved arts and music. He can dance very well, but he will not dance to the tunes of others. He loved agriculture. He got 10 acres of land near Madurai Airport and developed a beautiful farm with lush green vegetation and installed the statue of his parents there as a mark of reverence. He is also a regular devotee of Sabarimala and used to go every year to Sabarimala. He is also a regular devotee of Arupadai Veedu and visit those temples every year. So his personal life is also pious. He was spiritual. He loved everybody. He had warmth and affection for all human beings. As Malavika was mentioning here, his social intelligence was enormous. You could become friendly with any human being in a short span of time. His captive smile and unassuming nature made everyone to become friendly with him. Towards the youngsters, he had a lot of concern, and he wanted to shape them, mold them, and mentor them. I would rather say that is one of the great mentors in the chartered accountant profession. His demise came as a great shock to me. He would have mentored thousands of students had he been alive, and it is up to the students and disciples of T.N. Manoharan to carry the torch of knowledge and wisdom that he has handed over to them and dispel the darkness everywhere. With these few words, I feel that this memorial sessions should continue every year to inspire the young chartered accountants and motivated them to follow the footsteps of T.N. Manoharan. I only want to tell all the young professionals that a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shri sir, for taking us through the journey of TNM sir and inspiring words the challenges to elevate our standards of public and professional service. It is now time for the most awaited session. to share his vision and guide our fraternity forward while reflecting on the path laid by our legendary predecessors. We have the distinct honor of inviting the torchbearer of our profession, esteemed President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Shri D. Prasanna Kumar, to address the gathering. It is a matter of great pride for SIRC that today's memorial program is graced by Prasanna Kumar D., President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, a leader who himself rose through the ranks of this very region. We are deeply honored to have him with us today to remember Shri T.N. Manoharan, a stalwart of this very institute. Please join me in welcoming our President to deliver the address.
Most respected CA Subbarao Mupala, the Chairman of the Southern India Regional Council of the Institute of Chartered of India, Mr. Ire Anbu, the former Chief Secretary of Government of Tamil Nadu, Brother Selvarajan, Grand Master, Grand Lodge of India, and CA Balakrishnan, the past president of ICAI, C. Bhupati sir, the past president of ICAI, C. C.P.R. Kumar, Central Council member, and C. Pramod Hegde, the secretary of SIRC, and all the C.A. Malavika, Sahini, and Madam Dr. Sujata, and C. MP Vijay Kumar, the past Central Council member and the speaker on ethics today, and all the regional council members, partners, and family members of T.N. Manoharan sir, and fellow chartered accountants, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Even today, after 1 year, we are unable to believe that CA T.N. Manoharan sir is not with us. We are all aware that he is a very healthy person. He is a very sincere, hardworking, and disciplined personality. He took off his health also. Whenever anybody meets, when you used to meet me when I was a chairman, also used to tell, and we traveled together one day. I was sleeping. He was 4 seats before me in a flight. The moment before the flight took off, I slept off, and the flight landed. I got up. He has been watching that I'm sleeping or awake. He just want to talk to me probably. After I got on, he told me, Prasanna, you're working hard is good, but health is very important. The way in which you are sleeping before the flight took off and you got off, flight landed, this is not good. You should sleep well. Like that, he told me 2013. Such a person is all of a sudden in a deep sleep. We lost him. So that is, even today, it's not digestible. I never thought in my life that I'll be delivering a lecture or speaking to all of you in a T.N. Manoharan sir's memorial lecture. This is not at all acceptable to all of us. Friends, all my predecessor speakers have shared their experience with T.N. Manoharan sir. I too got great experiences with him. Some of the experiences, on a couple of occasions earlier when I spoke last year after his demise, I must have told some of you, but however, I always feel pride in telling that, repeating every time. I must have repeated that many times in my lifetime, but today, those who heard me the same thing should bear with me once again. And those who have not heard, I think I'll be conveying some information to you regarding my connection with T.N. Manoharan sir. I know him, like most of the members told, that they know him since 1988, 87, maybe as a student. So they all knew him, but I never knew him. I knew him for the first time in 1997. As a speaker, as a resource person on income tax, I knew him. Those days I've seen, that is the time I entered into the Visakhapatnam branch as a managing committee member. Then only I came to know about him. And those days I used to feel, whenever any branch or a region or a CP chapter, they invite T.N. Manoharan, a stalwart speaker in income tax. So they invite him. He never used to say no. As far as possible, he used to accommodate and see that he goes there. One of my predecessors, they told that is not the size that he wants. Whether the hall of 300 people, that 300 should be there or not, 200 should be there, 100 should be there. It's not a size that matters for him. It's not the attendance that matters for him. If somebody invites, even 10 children are sitting there, or 100 children are sitting there, or 1,000 children are sitting there, or 5,000 children are sitting there, his delivery will be the same thing. With the same emotion, with the same conviction he used to teach. That is the greatness of T.N. Manoharan, sir. We know many speakers. When we invite them, they'll ask how many we will be there and what time it is going to start. All those things they'll ask. They're recce and they know they'll accept. That was not the case with T.N. Manoharan, sir. And moreover, he is only one speaker that, he used to make his own travel arrangement. We only invite him. Sir, you have to come on 18th of December. So we want you to speak on so-and-so subject, so-and-so place. He'll make his own arrangement for travel. And sometimes he used to make his own arrangement for local conveyance also. And many times he used to make his own accommodation arrangement also. He is the only speaker in the entire country, as far as my knowledge goes, that he did not charge single rupee to any of the branch. As a matter of principle, he said, is my own thing, is my pleasure that I am coming to your branch. It's not that you're obligated to me. You gave an opportunity to come and teach my own fellow child accountant. I am obligated to you. Who can sell? That's only T.N. Manoharan, sir. Nobody else. So he is the only person who impresses both students and members equally. There are some teachers, probably they will be very good with the students, and some teachers are there, they may be very good with, they'll be able to impress members, but he is the only person who is to impress everyone. In the year 2001-2, I was the chairman of Visakhapatnam branch. That time I invited, this also narrated in when I spoke around 1 year ago. I invited him as speaker to speak on one particular section in Income Tax Act. That is section 115 JB. That is minimum alternate tax. That is new subject. That was applicable from 1/4/2001. He came there and Srinivas Vaitla is sitting as his partner. He is also a student of him. He went to his house for having lunch. Our program in the Visakhapatnam branch is at 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. We are circulated. The moment we say T.N. Manoharan, sir, people will come. So that is the brand image he has got. 4 o'clock, but I know, so Visakhapatnam, those days, not now, those days, people will sleep in the afternoon. 2 o'clock, they will go home, sleep, get up at 4 o'clock, will easily come to office at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Today it has changed. So I spoke to I know our members will not come before 4:30, 4:45. Though we announced at 4 o'clock, I rang up Srinivas and told him, Srinivas, sir may come at 4 o'clock. Please tell him that he will not come. Our members will be between 4:30 to 4:45. Let him come here at 4:45. Sharp 5 o'clock. After exactly 1 hour, we'll start the program. I told him. Then he said, okay, sir, I'll tell him. But I was sitting in the branch and I think I relaxed. Anyway, our members will 4:30, 4:45. Sir will come at 4:45. 5 o'clock, we'll start the program. You'll wonder, 3:45, he was in the branch. I asked him, sir, I informed Srinivas, did you not? He told me, Prasanna Kumar, I am aware. But the time that you announced in the flyer and your newsletter is 4 p.m. It is my duty to come before 4 p.m. That's why I came at 3:45 itself. And he also said that whether your members come at 4 o'clock or 4:30 or 4:45, you start at 5 o'clock, that is not my concern. When the time is there, I had to before the time that is announced. So that is the way he used to be so punctual in any meeting that he comes. What did they take away for me? That hit me a lot. That touched my heart. From that day onwards, my dear friends, till today, I'm talking about my 2001 till 2026. I did not even attend a single meeting late. Never. If it's 10 o'clock, I am at 9:55 in that meeting. Even today, for this meeting, chairman was telling, sir, MP Vijay Kumar sir is still addressing the members. If you go inside to disturbance, don't come. I said, no. This is what T.N. Manoharan sir taught. It is 6 o'clock, the 5:55, I was sitting here. That is what I have learned. I am thankful to the T.N. Manoharan sir for my lifetime. Then came 2001-2. So there's one program 2001-2 in Visakhapatnam. That time I told him, sir, so I am doing a lot of things in Visakhapatnam branch, a good performance. We have never had an occasion to receive an award for Visakhapatnam branch, though it is one of the active branches. This time putting all my hard work. Not that I want an award at the regional level, but I want an award at the central level, all India level. Award I want to go to the branch. I'm working towards this. He helped me a lot during the course of the year. Came January, excellent performance was there in our branch. January came, and Vice President of ICAI, he is the one who tabulates the entire thing, announces that one. They made an announcement of the branches. Our name was not there. I was deeply hurt. I was following up all the branches, what they are doing. Though the technology was not there those days, I used to get all the newsletters to see what they are doing, what I should do. So meticulously planned everything. I was deeply hurt. Then I spoke to Manoharan, sir. He was a Central Council member. I told him, sir, this is what has happened. So I put, how much I have done. You also helped me many times. So this is not acceptable, sir. So-and-so branch got it. I got the entire data. I'll share with you. But we stand at least one notch point before them. We did not get, sir, like that I told. This has been injustice done to him. He did not leave there. Such a great personality. He took up with the then Vice President, see Ashok Chandaksa, he's from Nagpur. He took up with them, and he was in France. He was in a foreign visit. He was in France that time. He spoke to him and said, Visakhapatnam branch, they have given all this data, how to go about. The moment he came back, he sat with Manoharan, sir, seen the entire tabulation, and then accepted Manoharan. Somewhere some calculation went wrong. I do agree Visakhapatnam deserves that one. However, I cannot take back the award which has been announced, but I will institute a new award for that and give them. And because of Manoharan's interference, we got excellent performance certificate for all India level. So that is the way he handholds everyone. So, and 2005, he became the Vice President. We're all very close to him. So we know when we ask any help from him, he will immediately tell. So we had all liberty to talk to him. He told us, I became the Vice President of Institute. Now, please don't invite me for any of the programs. What are the programs are there? So for inauguration of the seminar, conference, please don't invite me because my time is limited. I got only 730 days to do there in the head office as a Vice President and President. So I want to spend the entire time there. For this purpose, my family and my partner said, sir, you devote for 730 days there, and we are sure we will take care of the rest of the things. This is a God-given opportunity. You please serve the profession. That is important for us. He told us. True to that. And we did not invite him. There are so many pressure. That time I was not the chairman of Visakhapatnam branch, but my branch chairman used to say, Manoharans are so closely, please invite him. Let him come here. I said, no. We'll invite him after he lays down his office as president only. Till then we will not invite. With each day and each hour, very important. Such stalwart sitting in the seat of the president, and his time is important for the profession, for the decades to come and centuries to go. That's what we told. We never invited him. True to that, what is a learning for me? I strictly followed that. Whatever he has done that time, he told in 2005, when I became the Vice President, I had done the same thing. For 365 days as a Vice President, I was in Visakhapatnam only for 15 days. 350 days I was there. Is not my greatness. Greatness goes to T.N. Manoharan, sir. He is the person who had told us. Today is the 153rd day for me as a President. 153rd day. I went to Visakhapatnam, and only one night I was in Visakhapatnam. Rest 150 days I was doing for the institute only. Credit goes to whom? Only T.N. Manoharan, sir, nobody else. He is the Margadarshi for me in this regard. Friends, it was also a great audio visual was there. I too came to know certain things which I did not know. When, Anbu sir and Selvarajan sir, when they spoke also, I came to know many things which I did not know about Manoharan, sir. As a president, the new system of education training was spearheaded by him, and that went on very well for several decades. Now there's a demand that something need to be changed, because something we changed in 2022, there's again a demand that it should be changed. But all these things have been incorporated by Manoharan, sir, in 2006 when I was the president. So everyone likes him. I came to know when the last speech was given to all the employees of the institute, as the council members, last speech as a president, some of the employees, some of the officers of the institute, they wept. There were tears in their eyes. Tears in that such a stalwart who traveled with all of us for 730 days, he is not going to sit in this premises from tomorrow onwards. That is the respect he commands and demands from everyone. Friends, 2006, my journey started in regional council. Manoharan, sir, I never asked him that he give me something. He on his own, he has nominated me as a co-opted member in Public Relations Committee of ICAI. Suddenly I got a letter. I thought I did not know much about that. I never knew about what is happening in Delhi and all. He is the person who was given. My journey started from there. My thought process that one day I should also become the chairman of SARC and should travel further. That was never in my mind. But because Manoharan sir gave me an opportunity to go to the Indraprastha Mark head office in 2006, my mind has changed. That is why, thanks to Manoharan sir, I am standing as the president today. Means it is all the gift given by Manoharan sir. And 2007-8, I became a SARC member. Then he has been hand-holding with me a lot. In 2013-14, I became a chairman. Look at the way he helped me, all of us. When I was chairman of SARC, we had one regional conference, a major thing that happens for any chairman of the regional council. We had a regional conference in Visakhapatnam, where big dais was there, all stalwarts sitting at the dais, and the hall was full with 2,425 delegates in 2013. December, it was there. We started, inauguration starts. Inaugural session was going on. And the first one, we would play the ICAI motor song. We wanted to play the motor song, some technical glitch, it was not playing. We wanted to, narrate the same song, our idea of motor song through a mouth, but none of us knew. It is not in memory. How to do that one? I was deeply disturbed. The grand function, 2,400 members there on the beach front. It's a grand, the entire Josh what I had lost. I was highly disturbed. T.N. Manoharan sir was sitting in the front row. He's a past president. He was sitting in the front row. He was closely watching me. I just looked at him. He cannot speak from there. He cannot give a direction. With his mouth, with his face and hands, he has instructed me, don't bother for what had happened. Don't bother, you carry on. That gave me the spirit. That gave me the great courage. And that I could deliver a proper welcome address that day because of Manoharan sir. I still remember where he was sitting, how he communicated to me. That is the way he encourages people. He never discourages. So these are all the great things that Manoharan sir has done for all of us. And I became vice president on 12th February 2025. He called me. He immediately sent me a message. And he called me and said, Prasanna, great virtue that you have become vice president. I'm so happy. This has been my dream, that you should also become. You have got that caliber. I thought you should one day become. You have become very happy about that one. So normally, I am not coming for any of the swearing-in ceremony. When you take your oath on 12th February 2026 as a president, I'll be there to witness that one. That's what he told me. I missed that. I'll miss it for life. There were 391 members have come for that program in Delhi from southern part of the country. 391 came. But 391, I was very happy. Probably that is the highest number of members who have come to witness that particular swearing-in ceremony, 391. But the only thing was, I was seeing at the 391, Manoharans are missing. That's not acceptable to me. I missed it. Anyway, that's my bad luck. Manoharan sir, as we all know, then he shifted from there to National Building. We have seen how he contributed Satyam. And when Government of India wanted to recognize the entire Satyam board, which are nominated by government, the rest of the members, it was shown in the AV also, they nominated. It's not that we deserve receiving this award. It is Manoharan sir, he should get it. They nominated, he got the Padma Shri award. Good. After that, on couple of 2-3 occasions, Manoharan sir invited to narrate how Satyam was revived. This is a big story. Even today, it never happened before. It not happen after that also. I don't think it can happen in future also. Manoharan sir steered the entire thing within 100 days and revived that one. He used to come and share in the audience of chartered accountants. When he used to tell, I got the Padma Shri. I have been awarded. But this Padma Shri and the reviving of Satyam, the entire thing, the credit doesn't come to T.N. Manoharan. He meant it. The credit goes to the chartered accountant and the professional chartered accountant. He dedicated his Padma Shri to chartered accountant profession, not to himself. That is the greatness of a person like Manoharan sir. Sir, and thereafter, his journey, Canara Bank, Lakshmi Vilas Bank, and IDBI Bank, and various committees, Reserve Bank of India, Government of India. He served the national development and national building exercise. And any role it is given to Manoharan sir, and any position he is held, that he brought laurels. It's not the position he got in the value, and he's distributing the position got value because of him. That is the greatness of Manoharan sir. And he also started Manohar Chaudhary and Associates. As we have seen from the AV, from 300 square feet office, he started his practice. Now he has grown multiple times, so many branches, so many partners, and by following the entire ethical standards. Ethics means that embodied with blood of partners, Manoharan sir. He used to follow it in letter and spirit, and he has grown multiple times. I thought, had he survived for some more years, probably true to the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister of our country, and one of the big firms should have come to Manohar Chaudhary and Associates. Another 5-10 years to go. Is a big firm, one of the big firms in the country even today, and they have grown much beyond that in the line of thinking of the Honorable President, Prime Minister also. Anyway, so that's our bad luck, and he is one person who never says no, not, never. These are the words you will not find in the dictionary of Manoharan sir. What is always positive thinking person. Even if somebody committed a mistake, he will never say they committed a mistake, you must have done this particular way. That is the way he puts it. The negative thinking is not there at all. He encourages everyone. That's why that acts as a catalyst for anybody's growth, including what I have faced in my Uddati conference also. That is one of the examples of that. And friends, that's why, there's one word in not Telugu, Sanskrit, Ajata Shatru. He doesn't have enemies. In Tamil, it is known as Ediri Illadavan. If there is one person child accountant, that's Manoharan sir. Everyone likes him. Friends, as I told, he's a celebrity among students and members also. Before I close, I've got 3-4 items. I got on 5 minutes time. Within that, I'll close. There's one program I narrated 1 year ago. Salute to Mother, 2012. There's a program. Sri Krishna Sweets and some TV channel, they conduct the program. There's a Tamil program where about the mother. In fact, mother of Manoharan sir, Saradamma also, she was also there in that program. He narrated he spoke so well, right from the beginning till the end. Entire thing was Tamil. I never heard Manoharan sir speaking in Tamil. Only English I've seen. Of course, he speaks to me in Telugu because we both know Telugu. We are Telugu people. Speaks, but otherwise I never heard him speaking in public speaking in Tamil. Not even a single English word, single other verses, very nicely with the high class, top class Tamil. He narrated the entire thing. All of you should see. You go to, you put Salute to Mother 2012 T.N. Manoharan. It is there on the YouTube. There's only some 11-minute speech. Fantastic speech. I must have heard it so many times. Fantastic speech. At the end of the speech, he said, he has narrated what his mother has done for both the sisters and all the 3 brothers, how they have been brought up, how he has served his father at the last 5 or 6 years of age. Everything he has narrated so nicely. Last, he said, for the entire services, the way he was brought up his mother, he said, oh mother, if I have another life, that life, I should be mother for you. You should be my child. I should serve the way you served for me. In Tamil, such a great statement he made. All of you go and see that, you will like it. Friends, so I don't want to deal with, I want to speak something about ICAI, because when MP Vijay Kumar is there, he likes that we speak something technical content and all. I prepared, but now time is not there. Only 3 minutes I have. Within that, I'll tell some other certain other things which I have to tell you. I'll skip this ICAI developments. The family of T.N. Manoharan sir and the firm, Manoharan sir firm, they wanted to institute one endowment fund. In fact, Malavika also spoke about the endowment, what they institute. They wanted initially, they want to contribute rupees 10 lakhs for that. The idea is, idea is to have members memorial lecture like what we have today, and students memorial lecture, and also students merit award and student scholarship, needy student scholarship. Like that, they want to do that one. It's not 10 lakhs. They'll augment the resource in future also. That's what we're told. As far as this endowment fund is concerned, there are certain rules in the institute. Out of that, first thing I'll tell you, that members memorial lecture. If you want to institute one members memorial lecture, we need to contribute rupees 5 lakhs. That will go to the concerned regional council. The region council should approve it. It will go to head office. They'll approve that one. Thereafter, every year, whether somebody tells them or not, it is institutional arrangement. Every year on a designated date, a stalwart speaker will be invited and a memorial lecture will be conducted. That is the scheme that to have. Going by that, this memorial lecture fund, and memorial lecture institute, who should do that one? The family came forward. We don't want that to happen. We don't want family to contribute. We, the friends of we disciples rather of T.N. Manoharan, as for one single fund that members, memorial lecture is concerned, that we don't want anything from them. Let them do the endowment. That is student merit award, let them do that. As far as this is concerned, I am announcing in front of all of you that we, the friends and disciples of Manoharan, we are going to form this memorial lecture fund within 30 days, and it will be officially approved by ICAI within 30 days. Every year we'll have this particular memorial lecture. Yeah. Today is a great day for me for only one reason. See, Malavika, she came here. I thought she is going to give a welcome address. She narrated the entire thing, such beautiful English, highly articulated, without having any paper, looking at the paper, and how nicely she narrated about Manoharan, and what she does every day, and how she has emulated all the qualities, what is her goal here, but so nicely she has done, narrated. And she was also speaking Tamil, Perappu, Irappu, Sirappu, what a great Tamil also. Very nicely she narrated the entire thing. And that's what I was just thinking. But TNM is not there amongst us. TNM is not there amongst us, but TMM, Malavika, she has replaced him. I'm very proud of her. Such a nice statement. Really, we are proud of you. Great, great. So with these friends, so actual lives come to the end on death of a person. Death means life ends. That is the death. But as far as Manoharan sir is concerned, there is life for him even after death. This is there only for few people. The Manoharan sir, though he is not there, he is amongst us here. He is living with us. You can see him anywhere. That is the great personality Manoharan sir is. And we in him, all of us lost a great friend, philosopher, guide, and teacher. We lost him. And the profession lost a great stalwart profession, legendary professional. The profession itself has lost permanently. That's all emulate the great qualities of all, not great qualities. Every quality of T.N. Manoharan sir is a great quality. Let's emulate all the qualities of Manoharan sir and see that we'll work hard to see that our profession grows. And his desire is to see profession of accountancy, Indian chartered accountant at the highest level. I am sure that we'll all follow him, his ethics, and contribute for growth of this profession. And friends, so we seek all of us join together because he's amongst all of us with his blessings. We present here, whoever is known to him will have a great life, and he'll give all the enthusiasm and all the strength and energy that's required for the growth of this profession. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for your powerful leadership words and for perfectly articulating the vision that will carry T.N. Manoharan sir's legacy forward into the future. We gather here today not merely to remember a name, but to celebrate a life that touched so many as a mentor, a professional, a brother in the Masonic fraternity, and above all, a father. Every tribute paid, every memory shared this evening has been a small reflection of the vast legacy Shri T.N. Manoharan has left behind. It is fitting then that we close this evening the way we began, with family. May I now invite CATM Saini, younger daughter of Shri T.N. Manoharan, to come forward and propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. To all the distinguished members on the dais and off the dais, and to everyone who has taken their time off to be here on this special occasion, thank you. It means the world to us. As we come to the close of this deep, meaningful evening, I stand before you with a heart filled with pride, gratitude, memories, and emotions which word cannot express. This evening, we did not merely remember our father. Through every address, every recollection, and every value that we've spoken about, we felt his presence among us. In fact, I feel his presence so strongly now that I can sense him being in the first row, looking at his watch and anxiously fearing that we are behind schedule, and definitely cut short my vote of thanks, if not eliminated it totally. Because for him, punctuality was a religion. Respecting others' time and being on time was what he preached every day of his life. he believed in speaking in depth, but he believed equally strongly in finishing on time. So in his honor, I will wrap this up quickly. On behalf of our entire family and MCA, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First, our heartfelt gratitude to CA D. Prasanna Kumar Sir, President of ICAI, for graciously presiding over this memorial program and for delivering the presidential address. And most importantly, for your gesture in honor of our father, sir. It truly means a lot. Your words have reminded us that while individuals may complete their journeys, the values they contribute to an institution continue to live through generations. A profound thanks to CAMP Vijay Kumar Sir, MPV Sir as we fondly call him, for enriching knowledge session on new code of ethics. There could not have been a more appropriate subject because for him, ethics was not a chapter of his profession. It was the very foundation he laid it on. Every decision he made and he built his career on the very ethics he followed. Sir, you transformed a technical session into a fitting tribute to the principles by which he lived in. We are sincerely grateful. We express our deep gratitude to the most worshipful brother, G.K. Selvarajan, recipient of the Order of Service to Masonry, for his gracious presence and for his address on fraternal bonds. Sir, you reminded us of a dad's life, a dear facet to him, that is Freemasonry, through which he sought to serve society as a good human being. Your words have showed us how deeply he was valued beyond the boundaries of his profession. Our sincere and respectful thanks to Mr. Shri V. Irayanbu Sir, IAS, for the thoughtful special address. Dad believed that professions were not mere ornaments you should wear. They were opportunities to serve. So, sir, your presence here makes this whole occasion complete. Our heartfelt thanks to C.A. Subbarao Muppala, Chairman of SIRC ICAI, for his memorial address, and for most importantly, for the extraordinary support extended by SIRC in making this program possible. This venue carries a very special meaning for her family to remember him in the very institution where two of his great passions, teaching and public speaking, took flight. It means that it has come a full circle. Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. We are also gratefully acknowledge the distinguished presence of CA Shri Priya Central Council member and CA Pramod Hegde, Secretary of ICAI. Your presence has added immense dignity to this program. To the entire team of SIRC, the office bearers, members of staff, volunteers, every person who has quietly worked behind the scenes, our deepest gratitude. Special thanks to Mr. Vinay Vaitala for putting together the wonderful AV in a short span of time. I also believe that this evening is a tribute to three people: our mother, Dr. Sujata Manoharan, and our maternal grandparents, the late Shri T.V. Venugopal and Srimati T.V. Prema, who gave the family stability and support that enabled him to devote himself so completely to his responsibilities. Our sincere thanks to Dad's partners, colleagues, his friends from the profession, the Masonic fraternity, his former students, well-wishers, and members of our extended families. During the past year, many of you have shared stories about him that even we as his daughters had not heard of it. In doing so, you brought a part of our father back to us. Every story, every message has helped us understand that although this loss is deeply personal to us, his life belonged to many thousands of peoples. Some people leave behind wealth. Some people leave behind position and awards. A very few people leave behind a standard by which others begin to measure their own lives. Our father left us a standard. What he left behind was an instruction for living, and he left us a complete set of them, with the most important ones being giving and sharing. For him began very early. It was never conditional on having enough. Next, he often said that with ego, we are gone. Without it, we can go on. And next, he said that if we win, we must take it to the heart, not to become headstrong, but to feel humbled and rejuvenated. And when we face setbacks, we must take them to the head, not feel defeated, and to understand why they occur and ensure they do not reoccur. And above all, he truly believed that touching and making an impactful impact meaningful impact in others' life is the very true existence, very true purpose of our existence. He tried to do that to action as a professional, as a citizen, and in words, a good human being. We hope that every person who leaves this hall tonight carries a small piece of that message with them. The first memorial lecture is not the conclusion of a remembrance, it is the beginning of a living tradition. As rightly Shri Irayananda sir had mentioned that it is up to his disciples to carry the torch. Every year through this memorial lecture, we hope to come together for a meaningful knowledge session and light another lamp from the lamp he has left behind. To everyone gathered here, thank you, not for merely attending a program, but for surrounding our family with affection and for making us feel that Dad continues to live through the values he has impacted on you all. Dad, we miss you beyond words, but we also got to know that the finest way to remember you is not merely speak about how you lived, but it is to try every day to live by the values you taught us. Thank you all once again. Dinner is now being served in the hall across from us, and we would be delighted if you could join us. Also, for members who wish to pay their floral tribute, please, you can do so now. Thank you, sir.
Every time you tell we are no. Every time you tell you are degrading me, my memory. You are in a book. You are read that book also. Yeah. So many people. My memory is good.